To be a man, I don't know. You can look at it in many different ways, I guess. Like being a man, like science-wise, physically, or like in your family, being the man of the family and providing for your home and your loved ones. There's many different ways you can look at it. I feel like there's definitely things that I feel like, for me, I feel more determined to do it because of who I am and what I believe I am, like as a man. Like as a man, I feel like it's your job in like places in relationships where it's either like holding the door, like you're taught as a kid, like when you're brought up, it's manly gestures to do, like be a gentleman. It's part of being a man. I don't mind any of them. I enjoy being a gentleman and showing to people the gentleman I am.
To be a man, you should be a leader, financially stable, educated, inspiring, and not lazy, working hard. I think there's a lot of pressure on men to always be in the leadership position, but I feel like there are also times where men should be able to express that they're in need, but I feel like society puts that down. Every time a man might feel like he's in trouble, ever since an early age, they're taught to man up and never cry, not to show emotion. It is a necessary thing that men need, but unfortunately, our societal norms don't encourage that. Personally, I feel like I don't fit the definition of like society's view of what a man should be like. I'm not like physically fit. I don't have like muscles or like I don't have any abs or I don't build anywhere. I don't do the hobbies that most men do. Most men like are into sports or into cars. I don't fit any of those roles. Instead, I sing countertenor opera and I love to dance. I love to sing. And of course there are men who do this, but the stereotypical man that people think is like a man is always involved in like a sports team like basketball or are really into cars, which I have no knowledge of. You know. I still feel very confident in myself. I feel like that's a blessing. Even though at times I do remember where I wouldn't be able to converse well in like conversations with other guys. I'm never afraid to be myself, so I express myself all the time. And I feel like because I have that confidence, a lot of people, instead of rejecting me, accept me for who I am. And I feel like that's a key thing that a lot of people need to learn, to be confident and to really find yourself, be your own individual.
I don't really consider myself gendered. In the past like 20 years, people were always like more a little sexist back then, and now it's a little bit less sexist. So I don't think that people associate themselves like genderly anymore. Like I'm not like a man just because I have a dick. It's just like I feel like nowadays people don't really think about it as much. Like I'd treat a girl the same way I would a guy. So I think I don't know what's it mean to be a man. I don't think it means anything anymore. I feel like sexism became such a big part of reform that there might be a double standard now, whereas like something a guy might do might be considered sexist, but if a girl did it, it wouldn't be. Just because their society's so used to men being sexist. So I've definitely I've encountered that before. Like in Objects in Space, I made a chair. It was supposed to like make you feel like a man, make you feel confident. And Dave was telling his class, like, yeah, this kid last year made this great chair, I did all the math to work it out. And the solution itself in society was to make you feel more confident, more masculine, and someone in the class was like, how sexist, or how sexist. And I was like, that's not sexist. I can celebrate my masculinity just as you can celebrate your femininity. So I mean, there's definitely a double standard, I feel like, these days.
I think it's important for everyone to have their own idea of what being a man is. I don't think there's one set definition. I think each person should figure out what it means for them and then live their life accordingly. You know, society kind of says a man is, you know, successful leader figure, and it kind of puts a lot of pressure on people who aren't necessarily that, and really like the macho man. When I was growing up, because I'm not necessarily the loudest person, and sometimes, you know, you just feel like you're not living up. Or I know I definitely did feel like I wasn't living up to what everyone thought a man should be, but I feel like I, you know, grew through that, and sometimes I still do have some insecurities about that, but for the most part, you know, I've kind of just accepted who I am.
I always thought about being a stay-at-home dad. I thought that'd be pretty righteous or cool, and I feel like that's still kind of, I don't want to say looked down upon, but it's definitely not the norm, and almost like bizarre if men stay at home to watch over their kids and don't work while their wives work. I definitely wouldn't say I fit the normal stereotype. I'm pretty soft-spoken. I'm very soft-spoken. I'm very shy and into myself. I'd say I'm pretty unique in terms of how I'm portrayed as a man, because I feel like I don't fit the typical mold of being some jock or some super like outgoing personality type. But I like the way I am.
I think if you fit being a male, it's like the standard traditional norms of being a male, it's quite easy to live. And if you don't, it's extremely hard. Because other typical manly men will ostracize you and make fun of you and put you down. I think for those who don't fit the gender role, it's extremely hard to live up to society's standards. What does it even mean to be masculine? Because we all have like this idea of like a strong macho guy, but like, what about someone who's like not as physically strong? Why can't that be masculine, you know?
I am a sensitive child. 我很怕